If you're planning a backyard upgrade this season or trying to calculate what your home will sell for, you're probably asking the wrong question about your pool. Most homeowners think adding an in-ground pool is a guaranteed way to spike their property value. But if you're planning a move in the next 6 to 12 months, assuming you'll get a dollar for dollar return on that investment is a dangerous trap. In our real estate climate, a pool is a love it or hate it feature. For every buyer who sees it as a private summer oasis, another sees it as a massive safety hazard or an ongoing maintenance nightmare they just don't want to deal with. I see this exact hesitation playing out all the time. Right now, as summer kicks off in towns like Wyckoff, Franklin Lakes, and right here in Oakland, backyard pools look incredibly attractive. But when it comes to your actual home value, the reality is a double-edged sword. You have to understand that installing an in-ground pool in our area can easily start at $70,000 to $100,000. That is before you even factor in local municipal permits, safety fencing, and complex excavation. Yet, when an appraiser walks through your property, they're only going to credit a fraction of that build cost to your final valuation. Here is what most people misunderstand about buyer behavior in our local market. A pool does not automatically attract more buyers. It actually shrinks your buyer pool. When you sell a home with a pool, you instantly filter out families, perhaps with young children who are terrified of safety risks. You filter out busy professionals who refuse to spend their weekends managing chemicals. You are intentionally waiting for a specific buyer who wants that exact lifestyle. Believe it or not, this means your home might even take a little longer to find the right match. That timing delay is exactly where you can lose negotiation leverage if you're on a strict moving timeline. Here's the real financial twist that rarely gets talked about. The value of a pool is entirely relevant to your neighborhood. If you live in an area where 4 out of 5 houses on the block have an in-ground pool, then failing to have one may actually hurt your leverage when it's time to sell. Your property will feel incomplete compared to the competition. But if you have the only pool in a neighborhood where they're rare, you're unlikely to recoup your setup costs. You can't force a luxury feature to override the baseline pricing structure and the vibe of your specific street. If you want an accurate picture of how your specific backyard setup affects your listing strategy, we need to focus on what buyers are actually paying for on your exact street now before you spend a fortune on improvements. To show you how this looks in the real world, I once helped a family prepare their home for the market. They had a gorgeous, pristine in-ground pool that they had meticulously maintained for 10 years. They were convinced that the pool would command a $50,000 premium over the house next door, which had recently sold. When the listing went live, we received a ton of traffic, but multiple offers came in lower than expected because the buyers explicitly stated they were budgeting to install a more updated safety fence and a new cover immediately. Because we knew this buyer hesitation existed beforehand, we had already priced the home strategically. We accepted a strong offer from a buyer who loved the yard and closed without letting the pool derail the transaction. The anxiety you feel about selling usually disappears at the moment you replace vague headlines with real, verified numbers. A pool can absolutely be the emotional anchor that makes a buyer fall in love with your house over another, but it shouldn't be treated like a guaranteed savings account. The true return on investment for a pool is the memories you make while you live there, not the number on your final closing statement. When you separate the emotional lifestyle value from the strategic market reality, you protect yourself from disappointing surprises when the appraisal comes back. The bottom line is simple. If you're building a pool for your family to enjoy for the next 10 years, do it. Enjoy every single summer. But if you're doing it to engineer a higher sales price for a move next year, stop immediately. Let's look at a high return on investment cosmetic upgrade instead.